Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be answering your questions. I put out a video a couple weeks ago asking for your questions and you guys had a lot. So if you see me looking down, it's because I'm using my son's phone because I film on my phone. So this is the only way I could think of to read the questions. But it's probably going to be a longer video, so buckle up. The first question is, what made you decide to start a YouTube channel? So I started my channel almost 9 years ago to the day. I started off being a very heavy YouTube consumer. It was all, and still to this day, it's all that I watched. It's all that I watch. There were 3 channels in particular that are standing out to me that I remember like vividly, but it was Obs and Lala. She was Canadian. She was in a similar stage of life as me. Amanda Muse, also Canadian, in a similar stage of parenting as me. And then there was Erin and Baby, which she was in America, but same thing. She was in a similar stage of life as me. And then she had Everyday Erin channel as well. But those 3 ladies, some of them don't make videos anymore. Some of them do other type of videos and some of them are still on the platform. But I remember just watching them and feeling like we were in it together. Like I felt like I knew these women and they were part of my everyday life. And I was the first out of my friends and family to have babies and to be married and to just be in that stage of life. So it was really lonely. And I just noticed like watching these women on YouTube just made me feel like I knew them. I felt like we were friends, even though they had no idea who I was. I like never commented on their videos or anything. Like there was no like communication or anything like that. But like I just felt comfort in their videos and I just felt like I was not alone in this season. So then eventually I was like, well, maybe I could do this too. So I just started off on a little iPad and then I ended up with like one of those point and shoot Canon cameras, and I just started putting content out, and I literally did not know one thing about making YouTube videos or how to edit. I completely just over time just learned on my own, but that's why I started, was because I felt so connected to these women and these women were sharing just everyday mundane things, and I was like, well, I can do that too. And then it became like almost self-care for me for like editing videos, because I didn't have anything outside of being a mom that I was into. I was very much like mom 24/7. So it was a really good outlet for me to like take time in the evening to like edit a little video. Like my videos were always like 2 or 3 minutes long, but like just to edit a tiny little video and get it out there, it was just an escape and it was a hobby and it was everything I wanted it to be. So that's how I started off. I basically was just watching a lot of YouTube and I thought, well, like, I could do this too. So that's how I got started. The next question is, what is Trevor's profession and what did your mom do before she retired? So this is a joke we have in our house. It's actually that like, we all joke because none of us, including Trevor, know what Trevor does. Like Trevor's like, I don't even know what I do. But you know what I mean? It's just a joke because everyone's like, what does Trevor do? We're like, we have no idea what Trevor does. Like no one knows what Trevor does. But in all seriousness, just, I don't know, just due to privacy and all that kind of stuff, I don't mind telling you guys, like you guys, like I feel like we're just this little crew and like Trevor doesn't mind and all that stuff. But like, I just would never want, for some reason, one day if my channel ever decided to blow up and then all these random strangers and people on the internet like know where my husband works. You know what I mean? I'm just not comfortable with that. So I will say that he has an office job. He works in an office and he does really well. He provides a beautiful life for the kids and I. And yeah, so he does. He has like an office type job. So my mom, she actually, before she retired, she was working at a financial institution. So she was doing like banking type stuff, loans, all that kind of stuff. So that's what she was doing before she retired. And she was really good at her job and she loved her job. The next question I have is, it says, good morning. I may add a few questions as I think of them. First, what programs do you use to edit, and is it on your computer or phone? Would you do a video/tutorial on how you edit? I'm curious because for me, it takes so long and you can get them out there so quickly. Okay, so I'll start with this part. So I do feel like I am a very quick editor. I feel like I can get content out there pretty quick. I feel like it's a skill I have. I'm very quick at editing. I really think I'm faster than your average Joe with editing. I don't know. I really like editing, but I edit on my phone. Every single thing that is on my channel from 2019 onward, from like 2019 to today, has all been 100% done from my phone. Thumbnails, videos, editing, every single thing has been done from my phone. I did use a Sony a5100 camera and a MacBook Pro computer for my filming and editing before that, but they broke and it just was not in the budget to replace both of them. And so I just started doing the phone thing, like recording on my phone, editing on my phone, and I hated it for so long. I was like, I am not editing on my phone. I'm not recording on my phone. Like, I hate this. But over time, I got used to it, and now I prefer it. I prefer to use my phone, and I highly doubt I'll ever purchase a camera or a Mac to edit. Like, this just works so good for me, and I'm so fast, and it's just, I prefer it. So I use iMovie to edit, and it comes free on your iPhone or your iPad or your Mac. Like, it's a free program. I do know that the person who sent this question, Helen, I was watching your videos and I did see that you're saying you're struggling with editing. There are 101 video tutorials on YouTube right now telling you how to edit on YouTube. And that's how I learn it. Like, if I have a question about something, I'll search the exact thing I'm trying to do and see if there's an answer for it on YouTube, because that's how I like to learn, this through video. So you definitely can do that in the meantime. I definitely will try to put a video out there and showing you how I edit with iMovie. If that's what you would like, I can do that, but I don't know when that video will come out. So until I get that video up, I would highly suggest you search in whatever program you're using into YouTube and see if there's any like tips and tricks there, because that's how I learn. That's literally how I learned everything I know in life, is through YouTube. So there are a few videos out there on how to do basic editing, and like I've even dabbled into like green screens and stuff like that before in the past. I don't anymore, but like I used to with editing, and there's really cool things you can do. So I use iMovie. I record on my phone. I have an iPhone 13 Pro Max, and I think the quality and stuff is great. The sound is not always the best on iPhones, and like you could purchase a mic. Like, I know you use a mic, but like I could purchase a mic and that would solve that issue. I just don't. So I definitely can do a video tutorial if you would like on how I do editing. I do believe it is very normal for the editing process to take a little bit longer. I pretty much hear that from everybody. Like, it takes me hours and hours and hours. Like, for me, it takes me basically an hour to edit a video, but I don't know why. I just feel like my brain kind of benefits me in that sense. Like, my brain that's always like, woo, like it just really helps me when it comes to editing. I don't know why. I just feel like it's kind of my superpower. What would be your ideal date with Trevor? Okay, my ideal date with Trevor, honestly, this is gonna sound so cheesy, but my ideal date is just wherever we're together and alone. Like, that's ideal. Cause Trevor and I have always been Trevor, Jaclyn, and Florence. Florence was a couple weeks old when I met Trevor. So it was always the three of us. So we've never had that stage of like getting to know each other just as us. Like, Trevor put our dad hat on really early into our relationship. Like, I was a single mom. We were engaged within a few months. So it was just very fast. So he was like in dad mode. I was in mom mode. And like, we just never had just the two of us. So that's why when it is just the two of us and doing like weekend getaways or vacations or date nights, like, it's so special to me, and anything is ideal. Like, sitting at the kitchen table with our candles lit and eating a meal that we've made, and the kids are off in the yard or like at my mom's or with their friends. Like, that's ideal. A beach in Hawaii would be really ideal. But like, it's just, anytime it's just the two of us, it's so special to me. But ideal date, if we're talking like we could do anything we wanted, I would want to go to Hawaii and like, I don't know, I just would really like to go to Hawaii. Is there a hotel or motel or cottage in PEI you would recommend us stay? Because, okay, so she's saying she wants to come visit in the summer. So honestly, your best bet is to check out Airbnb if that's something that you're willing to do, because there are so many beautiful cottages and homes and just like beautiful over on Airbnb, and you can get some in any place that you want to stay. If you're looking to stay in Charlottetown, there's definitely some, but if you're willing to stay in like Cavendish or North Rustico, like you can get some beautiful Airbnbs or cottages right on the water, on the beach, and everything here is so close. Like even though it's not in Charlottetown, like we're a tiny little island, like it doesn't take long to get here, and I'm assuming you're driving over. So you would have your car, everything's like 20, 25 minutes. Like it's just, you could stay at like a really nice place on the water if you're staying like just a little bit outside of Charlottetown. But there's beautiful hotels. Like message me on Instagram if you find a place that you guys are thinking about staying, and I'll let you know if it's like, don't go there, or if it's good. But honestly, I would check out Airbnb for sure, or like a cottage or something. I just think that would be like, I would love to stay in a cottage if I was visiting the island. I think cottages are really cute. Okay, the next question is, have you ever witnessed something paranormal? I don't think so. I feel like I would know. I feel like I would know if I did. I don't think I have. I really don't. I feel like that's a really boring answer, but I don't think I have. Not that I'm aware of anyway. Do you ever get lonely as a stay-at-home mom, or do you appreciate the solitude? I never get lonely. Stay home. Well, I mean, I was very much lonely in the early days of it. Very much so lonely, but not lonely in the sense that I was like, oh, I was just lonely and like I felt alone in that stage of parenthood and being home with these little babies, and like that's how I felt alone. But today, no, I do not feel alone at all. I love it. I am the most introverted human you'll ever meet in your life. I require my alone time. I require the time to just have a quiet, like, my mind is busy. My mind races. The quietness of being alone for a few hours in the day is crucial. Like it is so, like I love it. I do not get lonely. I do not get bored. I am meant for this. Like I am like, you're like, honest to God, like I do not get bored or lonely or anything like that. I find when I'm with people in the day, or like anytime really, but like it, like my battery is just like slowly draining. Like the moment I'm interacting with people, and then the moment I'm home, it's like it's just, I just require my alone time. And guess what? All of us do. Like in my house, like Trevor, Florence, Alex, we're all the exact same. Like we are the perfect blend, because like we all just kind of like, we all get, you know, we're a very close family, so we're always like, you know, mingling around together and like we're talking and stuff, and then a certain time of day hits, and then all four of us go our separate ways. We're just recharging. It works out well. So another question she had was, when you think of the world 50 years from now, what do you see? That's a really good question. Honestly, okay, I think we're going to be like, what the heck? We used to stand outside our car and put gas in it. Like we would stand outside again, like, and put gas in your car. Like I just feel like our grandkids are gonna be like, no, you didn't. Like, why would you do that? Doesn't even make any sense. Like I think it's all gonna be electric. There'll be no gas in our cars. The thought of receipts will blow our grandkids' minds. Like they're gonna be like, you had to keep a piece of paper to return something, and if you didn't have that piece of paper, like you were just like out of luck, like you just didn't get to return that item. Like the thought of like printing out a receipt, I think is going to be just like it's just going to be all sent to our email, which it already is starting to do that. I'm noticing, like they're always like, do you want an email receipt? Or I'm like, sure. But I think receipts will not even be an option, like a printed receipt. That will be like not a thing at all. And as far as like where I'm going to be in 50 years, I'm going to be probably still in this house. And I'm gonna be in my garden. That's like the biggest, most beautiful garden ever. And I'll be like trying to show anyone that will listen to me about my plants in my garden, and I'll be like baking stuff, and my grandkids are gonna come and they're gonna love being here because I'm gonna be with like all the fun snacks and like telling them all about the days when I used to make videos on YouTube and like, do you want to watch my video? I don't know. I hope we're in a good place in 50 years though, guys. Truthfully, like, I don't know. I don't like to think of anything scary or like, I don't know. I just feel like we will definitely be in a much different place in 50 years as humans in this world, but I don't think it'll be bad. I think we're all gonna be good. You know, I'll manifest that for us, guys, if you want me to. I'll get on that. Would you ever get a tattoo? Okay, so I don't want to never say never, but like, I don't think so. I like tattoos on other people. I can appreciate them on other people, and I'm always curious as to like why they got what they got and like why did they put it there and why did they choose it. Like, I love hearing the stories and the meanings, especially like really meaningful tattoos and stuff. I think it's beautiful, but for me, I just don't see it. It's not something I've ever. My neighbor make an appearance. It's just not something that's I'm interested in, and it's just not. It's not me. I don't know. I don't want one. I think they're cool and great. And if my kids wanted one, I'd be like, oh, that's really cool. But like, I don't. But although, when Trevor and I went to Vegas, I was like, should we get tattoos? He's like, I don't really want to get one. I'm like, I know, I don't think I want one either. But I'm like, I feel like we should. We're here. Like, how cute would it be to get a tattoo? We never did. But if I did get one, I'd get a 13 and 14 on my wrist because those are my kids' birthdays. Alex is the 13th and Florence is the 14th. And that's what I would do. But I do like tattoos. I just don't have any interest in them, like for me personally. What is your ultimate dream vacation now that you've already cruised a few times and anywhere overseas you'd like to travel? I would go anywhere overseas. I want to go to Greece. Like, I want to... I would, in a heartbeat, I would go overseas. I've never been overseas. I'm not picky. Go wherever, I would love to. But my dream vacation right now, honestly, is probably Hawaii. I've never been to Hawaii, and I just think it's beautiful. And I watch a lot of Hawaii travel vlogs, and I know I will go there and get there someday. It's not in the plans anytime soon or anything like that, but one day I know for sure that I'll be going to Hawaii and getting to experience that. And Trevor's always like, why do you, like, he's like, you literally live on a beach. Why do you want to go to all these beaches? I'm like, I love the beach. I just want to see all of them. Like, I really do. Okay, another question that I have is, did you have a little dog when you started your channel? I've been thinking about this. I feel like I remember you having one, but if you did, I missed what happened to it. We did have a little dog many years ago. We had a dog for about a year, and honestly, it was very stressful. It was very traumatic. It was like, I hate talking about it just in general because it is so like, it was just it was hard. He just was not a good fit. We tried for a full year. I know that's awful to say, and like we wanted it to work so bad, and he was just not good with kids. You couldn't trust him. It was very stressful. The kids ended up being terrified. We were even a little bit scared at a certain point. It was just not a good fit. So we rehomed him to a couple that had no kids, and they took him just right under their wing. He was their little baby. And when I tell you the stress that was lifted off of our family, I can't even put that into words. The next question is, what order were you and your siblings born, and do you feel like you embody the common personality traits associated with first, middle, and last kids? So I am the oldest, my sister is the middle, and my brother is the youngest. And I don't know a lot about the birth order thing, but from what I am assuming, just by like how it sounds, we 100%. Whoa, Ellie! Girl, Ellie has something to say about this. I am very much the leader of the family. I'm very much like mama bear. Like, I'm going to raise these kids. My mom is a wonderful mom. She's very present in our lives. But I tell you, like, I'm very much like mama bear with my brother and sister. Like, I'm just like, I just feel like, I don't know. I'm not like that in real life. Like, in the actual world, I don't, as much as I would love to be, I don't feel like I am a leader at all. But when it comes to the family dynamics, I step into that role seamlessly. Like, I am the leader of this family. I'm taking care of these kids that are grown adults and have their own families. But like, and they do naturally come to me as if I am the leader of the family. Like, I love it. It's just kind of crazy how that works out. But my sister, she's very much the middle child. And I don't know how else to explain that other than like, she's just your typical classic middle child. She really is. And my brother, he's the baby. Like, he's just the family baby. Like, we're just like, oh, he's a baby. Like, we just spoil him because he's a baby. Like, and I don't think he's like that in the real world. Like, he's a grown man with his family and a wife, but like, I don't think he's like that. But like, when he's with us, we're just like, oh, like, the baby's here. Like, time to spoil him. Like, I don't know how to explain it other than like, we very much, when all of us come together, birth roles are in full effect. But I don't think, as far as like in our real life outside of like the household, like the family, if we are like that. I know I'm not, and I don't think they are either. But when we're together, very much so. What has been the hardest part about being a mom? Oh my gosh. Okay, and then the last question after that is about motherhood as well. If you could go back and tell your younger mom self, what advice would you give her? Looking back now, is there anything you would do different? Okay, I feel like I'm going to answer these questions like together because they go together. Okay, so, oh my gosh, I feel like I could go on forever about this, but okay, the hardest part about being a mom for me, in the earlier days, it's definitely been, it's not that I lost myself because I became a mother so young that I didn't even get to establish who I was yet. Like, I just came out of high school and then I went to aesthetic school after that. So I was just getting out of aesthetic school and I got myself my little job I was an esthetician at a hair salon. And I was just starting, like I was still living home. So like I was just about to like branch into like becoming this woman who I just finished all my education that I wanted to do and like got myself a job. And then I was just starting to think, okay, maybe I'm going to start saving and like move out and just become an adult. Like, I was an adult, but like, do you know what I mean? And so I was very much, all I knew was school and living home. And then I became a mother, and I feel like it was hard because I just then was like, okay, so now I'm mom. So I was never really got to see who Jaclyn was. So becoming a mother, I feel like that was the hardest part because I was just so in that identity of mom, and that was it. Like, that was all. And it's the biggest part of who I am. It's my favorite part of myself is me as a mother, but it's definitely not all of me at all. It's a part of me, a big part of me, but it's not everything. But back then it was my all, and it was all I knew. So I just clung to that identity as mom. And I just didn't think I was good at it, even though like that's all I was. But I was like, I didn't feel like I was good at it. I'd never even held a baby until I had Florence. I never fed a baby, like never, nothing, like ever, until she was placed in my arms. So that was hard, but a really hard part about motherhood, and I'm still in it to this day, but it's been having, once they become school age, having like your heart and soul outside of your body in this little tiny human, having them go out into the world without you, like sending them to school. In my case, still, I'm still in it now. The school part, like, you know, we're used to that. But it's more so like they're going to the mall, or they're going to the movies, or they're going to a friend's house, or they're going to a football game, or they're going, like, having them go out into the world without you. I just find it's not that it's hard, the part I'm in now, but I'm still in it. It's still like, oh, like, they're not going with me. Like, oh, I'm not going, okay. But when they're little, it's like, you just hope that everything you've taught them, their manners, you know, the life lessons, the experiences, how to tie their shoe, how to wash their hands at a public bathroom sink, how to use a stall in a public bathroom without you, little things, when they're smaller, obviously. And then just having to let them go, like sending them to school, and just, that was really hard for me. I found that really, really, really hard. And I still to this day struggle with it when they're going off and doing things without me. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll just be here. Like, I don't know if that makes sense, but that's what I find really, really hard. But if I could go back and tell my younger self something, very much like if I knew then what I know now, what would I say? I would 100% tell myself to trust my instincts and just believe in myself and know that these babies were given to me because they are perfect for me. I am perfect for them. They were sent to me because they are meant to be mine. I'm meant to be their mother. You know best. I very much did not have confidence in myself as a mother, and I very much looked on the outside for all of my answers. And if something felt right to me, but someone was telling me something different, I automatically trusted that they just knew more than me. When I'm her mother, I am his mother. I know what's best. My kids were cuddlers. They wanted to be snuggled and held and rocked and cuddled to sleep. And I just remember, like, even a doctor telling me, like, don't do that. Like, don't do that. Like, you gotta let him cry. And I just remember being like, okay, but like, that's what was working for us. Like, me rocking Alex to sleep. He got to sleep eventually. I mean, he wasn't the best sleeper, but like, he would get to sleep and I would put him down, and the doctors told me no. He's like, you gotta let him cry. He's gotta fall asleep on his own. So I would let him cry, and it was horrible and traumatic. And I still to this day feel so bad that I did that. Like, it was like a couple nights stretch in a row where I was trying to let him cry. And then when it got to the point where I couldn't let him cry anymore, I just went and held him and rocked him to sleep. Like, I felt like such a failure. And even as they got a little bit older, they wanted us to lay with them to fall asleep. Like, and I just remember being like, do not tell anybody that we have to lay with these kids to lay so they can fall asleep. I was like, don't ever tell anybody, Trevor. And he's like, who am I gonna tell? But because I just thought, like, but it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Because what works for my family is not gonna work for your family, and what works for your family is not gonna work for my family. In the grand scheme of things, guess what? They're 12 and 15, almost 15. And they go to sleep on their own. Some nights they even forget to say goodnight, and that's heartbreaking, but sometimes that's true. They just don't even remember to say goodnight, and off they go. They don't need me to lay with them anymore. They don't need me to rock them. They don't need me to rub their head. They don't need me to sing to them. And that's just an example. You know what I mean? I just remember feeling like I didn't know anything. I just thought everyone else knew everything, and I just listened to so much outside perspective. And if I could go back today, if I was pregnant today, I feel like my experience with motherhood with a newborn and toddler, it would be so completely different, because I would do everything so different. I don't know if like not necessarily different, but like I just wouldn't listen. I would just do what felt right and what felt natural and what my intuition was telling me. I would just, because right now in this stage of my life, it has never led me wrong, ever. My intuition has never steered me wrong. So I would listen to that. I wouldn't listen to so much outside noise. I would just focus on what's in our four walls here and go with what I know. And if your child is fed and they're sleeping and they're happy and you're doing a good job, and it doesn't matter if you're laying with them or they're sleeping in your bed or if they're wearing diapers to bed when they're 4, like it doesn't, in the grand scheme of things, like it works out. It does. It all works out. And I just can't even stress to you enough how much I just worried about what everybody thought about what I was doing. And I just wanted to do everything the way everybody else was, even if that did not feel natural to me, or it didn't feel right, or if my child wasn't responding well to it. I was like, well, this is just what we do. And I just wouldn't listen to it. So that is my biggest advice, would be just to don't worry about anyone else. Just worry about you and your child and what is feeling good and natural to you guys. But yeah, oh, so you have a 2-year-old. I still haven't been able to find myself again. Being a mom is so rewarding, but so hard. It is so hard. It is so rewarding. It is so worth it. And you will find yourself. You absolutely will. You're still in the very early stages of motherhood, and you absolutely will. And you will notice once your child gets a little bit more independent and is starting to go off into the real world, you're going to notice that all of a sudden there's like a little bit of time in the morning, or a little bit of time after bedtime, or whatever it is. And you're going to start filling those times with things that you like to do, and you're going to find yourself. You absolutely will. So those are all the questions. Thank you guys so much for sending those in. And I'll definitely do another one in the future, but I hope I answered everything, and I hope you guys are well. And I will see you guys really, really soon in my next video.